Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. Guys, tonight's a recap of Monday Night Raw, June 15th, 2026. And I'm not doing this by myself. Joining me tonight is WCW veteran, author of Looking Up at the Lights. I am talking about Mr. Robbie Idol. Also joining us is a WCW veteran, WWE veteran, the man who is known for the best punch in the business, Wrestling Hall of Famer, and the owner of a new projector and a big screen, who's only capable of watching TV at nighttime. I'm talking about Bob Cook.
That's right. And you know how big the projector? Look, the projector's like right there. That's how small it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, they I'll tell you what, I remember as a kid having one, and this big ugly object, huge, in the middle of your living room. Yeah, they've really changed with times.
Plus, I can go up to 300 inches. I just don't have that much space.
Yeah, the story of every man's life.
I'll just suffer with what I got.
Robbie Idol, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Well, we made it over 70 degrees today. So I was able to walk in shorts. I was able to do my hiking in shorts and a t-shirt. Look, one thing that sucks about Minnesota is I leave for my hikes in the morning, and I'm hiking anywhere from 12 to 15 miles. And I have a goddamn sweatshirt on because it's cold. But then by the time I'm halfway through first part of my hike, I'm having to take all that shit off. Today, it was almost perfect weather. I was able to hike without a sweatshirt on. I was able to do it in shorts and t-shirt. So, but later in the week, it's not going to make it past freaking 65 degrees in this miserable state. Counting down the days to warmer weather in Florida, Robbie.
That's not fun. It's like 95 degrees. Felt like 105. By the way, speaking of other than the projector, look, I got 4 cases of Mountain Dew, 24. That's almost 100 cans of Mountain Dew sitting right there. They're not cold yet, but they will be eventually. Because I got 2 cases in the refrigerator. So I'm cutting back.
At the risk of getting flagged by YouTube again. It happened a couple years ago.
Really? You can't use the word Mountain Dew?
And you remember we first started the podcast, I was drinking Diet Coke. I got flagged for showing it on.
Jeez.
Doing that. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show it anyway. Goddamn coconut.
That's like movies they used to have, or TV shows that have stuff blacked out, or right? Yeah, it's crazy. You think they'd appreciate the plug for nothing.
Right? Guys, Monday Night Raw, Robbie Idol. Is it getting any better, man?
You know,
is that a trick question?
I think you could gather up a bunch of 5-year-olds, and they could come up with better storylines than creative has come up with.
Well, that's like you can gather up a bunch of homeless people and replace all the politicians, and they do a better job. So,
look, last night Monday Night Raw came live from Baltimore, Maryland, as we continue the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. Tensions within the bloodline reached new levels. Logan Paul returned, and Oba Femi moved one step closer to the King of the Ring crown. We can literally end this podcast right at that, Bob Cook.
Okay, it's over. I actually like the opening segment, though, personally.
Well, and that's where we're going to. The bloodline opens Raw. Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Jacob Fatu open the show. The ongoing tensions between, or it seems like tensions happening between Usos and Fatu was front and center as Roman continued to establish his dominance over the group. And the segment quickly took a little bit of a turn when Roman Reigns directed Jacob Fatu after they left to attack comedian Eric Andre. But before that happened, Bob, it seemed like, first let's stop. I want to dissect this. I want to start with the fans with this open segment. What they're doing with the bloodline is going to be a failure on paper as far as creative goes, because they're pushing these guys to be heels. And the reason why, Bob, I'm saying it's going to be failure on paper is the fans are not having it. The fans are cheering these guys. Doesn't matter what they do. We seen it last night. We seen there was a little bit of tension between the Usos and Fatu. Roman Reigns quickly squashed that by giving Fatu and Ulafala and welcoming him officially to the Bloodline. As I said, as they were leaving, they attacked Eric Andre, who, by the way, is going to be in a movie called Brothers with John Cena on Netflix. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it. It looks funny. They attacked this guy, Fatu did, and as Fatu was about to dive off of the top rope, splash him, Roman Reigns jumped on the apron, and it looked like Roman Reigns was going to stop him, but then he said, nah, do it. Splashed him. Now the fans are chanting one more time. I think Creative was expecting the fans to be booing them at this point, but that's not what happened. The fans are chanting one more time, and Roman Reigns said, no, what the fuck? Fatu, one more time. Hit him again. Fans going nuts. Roman Reigns, he didn't get a long chant ovation like he did in Europe, which lasted 25 minutes, but he got a good 5 minutes, which is a long time in this country for fans to be giving this guy, anybody, an applaud like that. I mean, fans love this guy. Bob, what is Creative doing? Do you think Creative is messing up by trying to make these guys heels when fans clearly they're not going to boo them?
I don't know what they're doing, but I enjoyed the segment myself, although I would have liked to see Fatu do a moonsault on the kid as opposed to the splash, but it was fun.
I thought the second time was going to, the way he ran to the corner, I thought he was going to do that moonsault.
Maybe it's just a little more difficult to, I mean, not maybe, it is a little more difficult to control and protect the guy. And, you know, it's bad enough that I mean, if the guy's man enough to lay there, I wouldn't want to do it. Guy got squashed by Rikishi, that fat, overbearing, obnoxious pig-faced bastard, when he was part of the Samoan SWAT team, coming and dressed him like an asshole and say, which one do you want to take the finish? And we're like, we don't care. And he goes, oh, you don't care, huh? Well, I'll take it on you, like a smart ass, and squished me because he's a piece of shit. So there. Suck on that, Jey Uso, or your brother. Your dad's an asshole. I said it live on the air for all the world to see.
Bob, you're not the first guy who has faced Rikishi who has said that. Is he really that bad?
Not really. I was just exaggerating, but he did that to me once, and I didn't appreciate it.
I've actually had someone say that he was hard to work with.
Other than that, he was okay. It was just that splash, man. He lays. Not that, what can you do, right? I mean, God, I love working with Bugsy McGraw, but he was 300 and some pounds. Robbie, I don't know if you ever worked with Bugsy, but the only thing Bugsy did that was stiff was that finish, which was a splash, and he didn't even get up high. He just run across the ring and jump up a little bit, and he just knew better to tighten up and suck that air, like when Too Cold Scorpio did his flip. If you wanted to breathe afterwards, you better take a deep breath because it's all going to leave your body.
By the way, Bob Cook, I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, I don't blame you. Sounds like my wife.
Look, you know the way I am. You can't get away from, in these days, you know, how they do things in pro wrestling. I don't particularly like it. So the next time you want to talk about how something is done, make sure you make sure, because you can do it on Facebook where I can't see that post because you talked about the slam between Harley Race and Andre the Giant. And look, I'm an educated guy. I'm fairly intelligent. I know that no one's picking Andre up unless Andre wants them to pick him up. But I still like to live in that world. But no, you just had to go and piss all over that.
Well, blame it on the fans because the fans who were sitting there going, oh, I can't believe it. He did a slam better than Hulk Hogan. Oh, I can't believe Harley was a strong guy. I'm thinking, yeah, Harley had, he had some strength, but it wasn't all Harley. And I explained it in the post about when I was a kid, 180 pounds, slamming a 350-pound guy because we were taught how to do it.
Right.
And Hulk Hogan slammed Andre better than that hundreds of times before that. Maybe not hundreds, but every time he slammed him, especially when he was younger like he was when Harley did it.
Well,
people are just idiots, fans in particular.
This is the thing with that versus Hogan. Number one, I didn't even think about comparing it because it's not comparable. It's two different things, two different men. Not to mention, when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, it was pretty much a clean body slam. When Harley picked him up and slammed him, you seen Harley went to the mat as well after he. Wow. So it was just two totally different performances. I don't know why fans constantly have to compare a to be instead of just
Well,
appreciating work.
Well, a lot of fans' memory of Hulk slamming Andre was WrestleMania 3, and Andre was way overweight, could barely walk, didn't help Hulk as much as he could have, so it wasn't as good of a slam as all the others. So people are looking at it like that, and it's like, you morons. Andre weighed more, he could barely move. Idiots. Of course, you got people who just hate Hulk no matter what he did, right? Like some guy comments, oh, the man who only knew 4 moves. You people are dipshits.
Well, the man who only knew 4 moves put professional wrestling on the map twice. So,
yep. And I was rewatching the Real American documentary on Netflix last night because I wanted to experience it on the big screen.
Was it any different for you there, Bob?
Yes, it was. It's very much different.
Very good. Robbie, this opening segment, man. Again, my question for you is the same thing I asked for Bob Cook. Look.
Wait a minute. Let me clear this up. Robbie Idol, when you used to come over and watch the pay-per-views, wasn't it awesome when we had the big screen?
It was okay.
You son of a bitch. And I had to put up with your bodybuilding food. Come on.
Robbie, again, what is creative? Is creative messing up? Because on paper, they clearly want the bloodline to be the bloodline of the heels, where they did get heat. They got the boos. I think the fans made it clear last night. They're not going to boo the bloodline. It's not happening. I think that they thought that was going to happen when they attacked Eric Andre. And it didn't. And we've seen it later on, and we'll get into it when they attacked another guy who was beloved, and they still didn't get fucking booed then, Robbie.
Yeah, but when they were talking to Jay, he kind of got booed in the beginning there. He was getting mixed reactions.
Yeah, a little
bit. That's because people are confused. They're like, wait, what's going on?
Well, which was kind of funny to hear him out of all of them. I mean, he was the one that got mixed reactions, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, but you still had the majority of the people. You've seen it when they say acknowledge him. The majority of the people were doing the stupid.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it still was funny. He still kind of got booed. But I mean, yeah, I mean, but you look at like watching SmackDown and watching Raw. It's almost like creative in the last, I don't know, month is like phoning it in. They're just like,
The past month, we've been watching different products, brother, because I'm talking about the past freaking while.
Well, okay, yeah. So, but I mean, it's almost like they're phoning this stuff in. It's like you have chances for to change stuff up, and you're not going down a path. You're just kind of rehashing stuff, bringing back the bloodline and everything. It's just, you're not looking to try to make new feuds, or I know we're coming to SummerSlam, but still you could have new feuds or start pushing some of the young people you brought up from NXT.
Yeah, by the way, for the new fans watching, please subscribe to the podcast. I appreciate that. I have great guests on. I've been light with the guests the past month and a half. That's because we're moving. But starting back I have some guests coming up, but starting in August, I'll be going full on again with guests on most Monday nights. Actually, to be honest with you, starting next week, I'm going to start having a good bit on Mondays. But starting in August, I'm going to be going as heavy as I can with guests. This is the thing. When creative seems to be lacking is when I really have a lot of respect for the talent, because these guys have to go out there in front of the crowd and do the best that they can to keep people focused and interested and wanting to come back. Bob, how frustrating is it when you are doing something that, well, you know that it could be better, but because of the powers that be, you're kind of stuck.
I don't know. Do they know it could be better, or do they think they're doing right? But at the same time, they had a full house last night.
Yeah.
So they look at that too. They're like, well, crowd's here. Yeah. Someone likes it.
Yeah. I mean,
by the way, did you see that championship belt that guy made me? Holy crap. Right over there, nice and displayed.
Who made it for you?
A guy named Andy Daniels.
Okay.
He just messaged me last week and he said, "Hey, I got something for you. I want to ship it to you." I gave him my address. I said, "If it's a bomb, address it to my wife." Turns out it was that freaking awesome belt. Amazing.
Terry Zeller. Hey guys, by the way, Terry, I got our guy booked. I'll announce it here soon. It'll be towards the end of July when he'll be on. And guys, that's a big announcement, and I'll drop his name soon enough. I have a pretty big deal. A gentleman that I'm so excited to have on the podcast as a guest again in July. I'll be announcing his name pretty soon. Robbie, same question, man. As a professional wrestler, a guy, WCW, TW, Florida Championship Wrestling. Have you ever been involved in a situation where, the powers that be creative, they're just having you do shit that's like, what's going on? And you just had to bite your tongue and get out there and do the best you can? I mean, how frustrating is that?
A lot, yeah. But yeah, we've all done. Bob's done it. I've done it. You just bite your tongue and, play
Well, like
along.
when Dusty wanted me and Joe Cruz to be the headhunters for that Clash of Champions, he made us wear those trunks that made it look like we're wearing diapers. I said, "Dusty, please don't make us wear the white trunks." He said, "Shut up, Bobby, and wear the trunks." Okay, I got a nice payoff and a steak for the dinner. I'm not going to argue, but I didn't feel comfortable.
Oh, man. Can I find, can I find her on YouTube?
Maybe, I don't know. It's on one of the Clash of Champions. It might be on their YouTube channel too, but WCW channel.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
No,
The whole match had to be called in the dressing room. Hiro Matsuda was the interpreter. What's the word? Interpreter?
Interpretator.
For the Japanese guy. Hiro was the guy who called the match back with them. We went over the whole match for the match.
Jerry said they probably gave away tickets. Look, that's what I've been doing tonight when I can't sleep. I've been looking for Bob Cook and Robbie Idol freaking matches on YouTube.
Well, if you ever come across the one with me in the Great Muta, let me know, because I want to know.
Speaking of matches, did you watch that Ultimate Fighting Championship yesterday or Sunday? Holy crap! What a main event! What a main event!
Yeah, it was good.
I don't even like UFC, but now I do. It's crazy.
It was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. I really
Now,
did.
granted, the guy who won come off as an ignorant redneck with all his cussing and stuff, but the match was great.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there with the first lady and go, "Oh, I fucking did it! Oh, I fucking did it." I mean, come on, that's so stupid and immature. It's ridiculous. Like children, rein your people in, Dana Goof. Like the guy who called Obama's wife a man. That kind of shit they don't need that. That's bullshit. I'd fire that guy in a heartbeat. I don't give a shit who thinks it's funny.
I'd be willing to bet that he was probably from Louisiana or Florida.
Well, where you aspire to be?
I'm from Louisiana, so I called out my own state.
Oh, okay. Just want to get that out there. It's a great fight. Guy's an idiot.
Yep. Queen of the Ring is semifinals. Talk about having to bite my tongue. This one I was Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh,
it
my
wasn't
God.
that I didn't like the match. It's that I don't care, Robbie.
Well, I mean, I'm not a Rodriguez fan, but whatever and she hasn't had any momentum. They've kind of killed it. Well, they killed it in this match because she got jobbed out.
Yeah.
If you were trying, I couldn't take Corey, and I guess you brought Joe Testa, and I actually like Joe, but because he was working with Corey, he became Joe Testicle because he was just as bad as Corey.
Joe Testicle.
So he was just as bad. So my thing was going on mute a lot. So
Corey was the dick and Joe was the testicles. I get it.
That's right.
I like it.
So Corey was some of the stupid stuff he said, but them saying that Raquel's the powerhouse and stuff. But watching the match, I mean, they killed her. Whoever called that match, they jobbed her out. She didn't do much.
Yeah. To me, Io Sky also lost a lot of her star power. Bob, I just don't think they've utilized this young lady in the best of light, in my opinion.
Well, I think Raquel is this era's Jimmy Snuka's daughter, whose name I don't remember, but she was never that good, and she never got any better. But yet, for some reason, Superfly, being her father, she had a job for years. And that's the same with Raquel. There's so many talented women in that company that could take over, where Raquel doesn't even make a blip on the radar if she's gone forever. And I'm not trying to say get rid of the woman, but if you're not going to improve after a certain time, give someone else a shot not to improve, at least for a while. By the way, I was happy to see the Rock's daughter say she wasn't planning on coming back.
Thank God, because
she had such a personality. It was amazing.
Talk about something skipping a generation.
Oh, I know. Could you imagine like Dory Funk Sr., Dory Terry Funk, fantastic. The Rock, his daughter. What happened? That's like you got Ric Flair and his kid. It was a clip in the radar on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other kid, Reed. I never saw him work, but David Flair.
Oh, terrible. Winner was Io Sky. Next, we got Oba Femi and Dominik Mysterio's video package. Video package aired highlighting the issues between Oba Femi and Dominik Mysterio from the previous week, as both men prepared for the King of the Ring semi-final showdown later in the evening. Then we hit. Next was I wanted to put the remote at my goddamn TV. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez backstage. Liv and Roxanne were shown backstage discussing the Queen of the Ring tournament. Liv basically was like, it should be made about just me and Dom. And then she walked into the room with Danhausen. She attempted to recruit Danhausen to assist her in putting a curse, I guess, on Oba. Why? Like, seriously. Look, Liv Morgan. And whether you like it or not, Bob Cook, even Dom is at a level that you should not be mixing them with goddamn Danhausen. Like, seriously, leave Danhausen for the lower level bullshit. It just, at first it was funny for me. Danhausen coming, WWE. Now it's just getting to the point that it's fucking annoying. I don't want to see him on my TV unless, again, it's just lower level bullshit. Something.
I know that Roman Reigns and Triple H were at the UFC event. I'd have loved to see Danhausen there, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But I agree, yeah. But Liv Morgan's outfit, though, that pretty much made up for any bad part of the show last night. I'm just saying.
I knew that's where we were going.
Respectfully.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you give Danhausen credit that, whoever wanted to bring him in thought that was a good idea, but, for the comedy act, he's getting paid, I mean,
yeah.
Hey, it's like the the top 3 sellers. I mean, that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's all the kids. Kids love him.
Yeah, and I mean, he isn't really even putting his body out on the line by wrestling or anything.
Let's look up Robbie Idol searches on his phone. I bet you $100 he's got searches: Target Danhausen figure, Walmart Danhausen figure, Amazon Prime Danhausen figure, eBay Danhausen figure. We know what's going on. Hey, I'm going to buy a Danhausen figure just so I can show it on the show. Curse you with it. So
look,
it's just.
I get it. I do. And this is why, though, I honestly prefer watching AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays than Monday Night Raw on Mondays, because I feel like the difference for me is watching Sesame Street versus something more adultish. Because I mean, let's be honest, when it comes to creative on both shows, it's not been very good. But at least the matches on AEW Raw are more adult-centered, and the storylines are a little bit more adult-centered than the childish bullshit we get week in, week out on Monday Night Raw. And and I get it. Why would they change it? They shouldn't change for me. I'm just one guy. They're making so much money. Fuck what KG Landry thinks. I understand it. I'm just saying, as far as my taste goes, I prefer more adult shit. Bob?
That goes with all their shows. Since Sol Ruka left NXT, I don't even look for the clips of NXT. But the other day, I happened to see the clips, some of them, and I don't even know who any of the people are, and it's just lame as shit.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they're doing. It's like, what? Who? I know it's Shawn Michaels behind the scenes, and I like Shawn Michaels, but wake up, Shawn! You're back on the saucer side. What's going on?
Yeah, look, I actually used to watch NXT when it was kind of the black and gold stuff, Robbie. Because,
I like black and gold.
Right, because it was more centered. It seemed like it was more centered for adults versus the main roster's kiddie bullshit. Where are you at with that, man?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the difference. The same, and we've talked about it on other shows. You know, WWE's, it's a street fight. AEW's street fight. AEW at least has the violence where, you know, when they do this stuff, it's what you expect. And I guess from coming from that era, watching from way back in the day and everything, you know, the same like the steel cages and, you know, and all that stuff, it's violent. And that's what, when they're saying, okay, we're going to have this match, you know, we're going to have, you know, war games or blood and guts or, you know, whatever, at least, you know, AEW delivers, where it's, you go, what was that on WWE?
Right. Terry says creative control sucks. You're right. And I think overall, this is my biggest concern, my biggest gripe with what WWE has become. I used to say all the time, and this should still hold true, that professional wrestling wasn't just for one type of fan. Professional wrestling shows had something for everybody on it. And that's what made it so great. That's what made it tolerable. Yeah, I may not like this segment, but the next segment, you know, but it seems like WWE has gone to the point that they're just trying to target one audience now.
Wait a second. I got my dog here. Let me ask her what the problem is. Georgia, what can the WWE do to fix it? So hang on a second. Wait, what? Bring Vince back. Get down. What the hell? Jesus. Last time I asked her for advice.
No, Terry, you got a point. He says, I believe it's a TKO problem. Look, ultimately, I have to agree because WWE, we've started to see that big change since TKO has bought it, and it slowly but surely has gotten where it's at. What I don't get, Bob, is this. You just brought up the big UFC fight at the White House. Very good show. Very good show. You would think a company that owned UFC that was able to produce adult programming like that would be able to carry that through to professional wrestling. Now, UFC and professional wrestling, two totally different things. Understand that. But at the same time, what's the disconnect? Is it so different that they're not able to bring that type of programming to professional wrestling?
I don't have the answers, although that ring girl, the blonde ring girl on UFC should get a deal with NXT. That's all I'm saying. But I don't have any answers anymore. I did read, though, that there's a chance because Vince and the other money-grubbing woman are in arbitration or whatever they call it, so it's not going to go to trial. As soon as that's cleared up, guess what? The old man's going to walk down. It's going to be embarrassing to be like Don Knox walking down the aisle doing the strut, if he can even do it anymore. But it'd be hilarious to see, let's be honest.
Oh, it would. I think fans would go nuts.
Oh, they would go crazy. Then they'd see him and they go, holy crap, look how old he is.
Terry says, especially since it's on Netflix. Yeah, I agree. There's nothing holding them back. Monday Night Raw. Robbie, same question, man, about TKO, UFC, the fact that they can bring us such good matches on UFC versus professional wrestling in that programming.
Yeah, and once they went to Netflix, you thought, okay, that the language and, you know, maybe even pick up the violence and stuff. But I mean, it's crazy. Think about AEW's on TBS, and they still use the language. They have violence and everything else. And yeah, probably, you know, whatever reason TKO is holding them back, probably why it comes down to it. But, you know, UFC isn't like, it's not kiddie show or whatever.
Right.
So I don't understand why you're holding one product back and letting another one go for it.
And by the way, for all the dipshit fans out there who keep on saying, "Oh, it's Triple H," it's not Triple H. TKO has come out and specifically said they are in charge of fucking creative. It's not Triple H. So stop. That aggravates me. Terry says it's different, but yet in this it the same makes no sense. Yep. Next, guys, Adam Pearce with Lyra Valkyra backstage, very vaguely making announcement. We see Lyra excited. We know what it is. She can't wait to tell Billy. Of course, we're gonna find out that it's the Billy and Lyra gets Bree and Paige for the titles at one of their programs. I don't remember which pro. I don't know if it's next week or Saturday night main event or there's a Sunday night main event coming up. Fuck, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, there's a Sunday night main event.
Yeah.
Also, we see again Adam Pearce was shown speaking with. Just talk about that. Next, we have LA Knight and Adam Pearce backstage. Knight is confronting Adam Pearce and made it clear that he was not finished dealing with the bloodline. I swear to God, Bob, this entire show tonight was really and truly centered around the bloodline. Mm-hmm. It really was. Here's my question for you.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you think the creative or whoever's coming up with this shit, they're going to the well too many times with the bloodline? Or no, man, because number one, you see how hot it is, so obviously it's working, and it's a little different because now you have Fatu on it.
What I truly think is going on with creative is they think they're putting out a good product. Sure, there's always going to be putting out a product that you and I and Robbie go crazy over every week. Like, holy crap, I can't wait. Every match was good. This was good. That was good. But there's always going to be dipshits that complain. So I think in their mind, what they're putting out from their paper to the reality is a good product. And that's really as deep as it goes. They think they're putting out a good product. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's pretty weak the last year and a half, we'd say overall.
But you know what?
I don't think they're doing anything wrong in their mind.
Right. But you know what? I'm going to call the three of us out after I read this comment. Terry says, Sunday night main event in Atlanta. Thanks, Terry. I'm going to call the three of us out. I will.
You know who's going to headline that?
Yeah, Roman Reigns.
Cody Rhodes. He lives in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Not that he shouldn't. I'm just.
Here's a question.
Wait, ain't he wrestling Gunther there?
Yes.
Oh. There's a match I don't want to see.
No. Gunther's SmackDown. On Raw. Goddamn, yeah, SmackDown Friday.
Oh, yeah, with the Sami Zayn referee silliness.
Here's the thing. And we'll go to you, Robbie, and then you, Bob. And this is aimed at me as well, but I'll let the two professionals answer this. Is it really creative, phoning it in, not putting out good product, putting out weak shit, or has professional wrestling just surpassed the three of us? We're all three older, right? We come from a different generation of what we like in professional wrestling. Is it creative, Robbie, or is it us?
I'm gonna say creative. I mean, maybe it has, maybe it's a combination, but you can watch stuff on AEW and you go, okay, this is, there's stuff you can pick out. You may not like the whole show.
Right.
Okay. I wasn't looking forward to the AEW street fight with Death Riders and Shane Taylor, but actually it was entertaining.
Right.
And it was violent. So, at least they did what they promoted. So, definitely if it was WWE saying it's a street fight, you'd be going, all right, whatever. I think part of it's, maybe part of it's like what Bob says. They think they're putting a good product out. Maybe they don't, if TKO's involved in it with creative, they don't understand when we're putting, street fight or this match, a bunkhouse match or whatever. Maybe they don't understand the concepts of it because UFC is a little different. But you would think if you had any knowledge of it, you'd know, okay, it's kind of violent, and maybe that's what if we're promoting it, let's push it, and maybe some of the guys are going, hey, I don't know, maybe some of the guys in WWE aren't built for it anymore. I don't, maybe it, it could be a bunch of combinations in there. But yes, I guess part of it, you would say, yes, it's passed us by, I guess, or WWE has just felt, okay, we're not worried about fans like you and I and Bob, they want the hardcore stuff. Let them go watch, AEW or go watch some indie show.
Bob, to your point, you're talking about, they think that it's great stuff, but they don't realize that it can be weak. But let's think about the fans last night. They seem to love the shit. Unless they are piping in crowd noise, the fans seem to have loved it last night. And on top of it, could this be it as well? If you look at that audience, WWE audience, you see a lot of kids. Versus if you see AEW's audience, it's more adultish, obviously. They know their audience, I guess. You going back to Danhausen. Guy selling stuff is unbelievable. He's the number one seller, right? Do you really want to alienate that audience, those kids, by having it more adultish? So again, is it just us or is it really creative?
Well, part of it's us. I've never liked goofy characters in the context of wrestling. I love Danhausen as a character, but when you put him in matches and you got the Miz acting like an idiot, I don't like that stuff, but it is what it is. But some people don't like that term either. It is what it is, but it's kind of real. It's a real, because it certainly isn't what it isn't. But anyways, it can't just be wrestling itself as passing us by, because I can go back and watch Terry Funk against Jerry Lawler or Terry Funk against Ric Flair from Great American Bash '89, and it's just as good and cool to me as it was then now.
Right.
It's just, and a lot of times when you see something, the storylines is where the creative come in, but when the bell rings and the wrestlers don't put out, that's no one's fault but their own. Because nobody, I can't imagine ever happening. It never happened to me. I'm sure it never happened to Robbie. No one said, come over here. Have a shitty match. Don't put any effort in. Look weak. Throw your punches like crap. Don't make your kicks connect. Make this look bad. No one's telling them that. It just happens to happen. And it's like, why is the biggest problem with that is why aren't people calling them over and going, hey, you just took 15 minutes up on our live worldwide television and you threw the most lame, fake looking punches in history. Don't do it again. Or there's a door there you can go through and never come back in. That's what I would do. Unless it was Roman or something. You're like, come on, Roman, stop it. Because, a big money makers. You don't want to treat them bad. But
here's a question about that. Is it because, to your point about that, is it because professional wrestling back in the era that you guys were in, the era I grew up watching, that I loved, in my opinion, best era in professional wrestling, was all about professional wrestling versus today is more about entertainment, Bob? Do you think maybe that's the issue why they're not being called out on that stuff?
No.
No?
What I think it is they just don't care about the details, the smallest details. You could have a feud that's built to a volcanic eruption, and then the guys go out there and throw lame punches, and it goes right back. It's, the volcano's not even worth erupting. But if you go out there and every feud, no matter how much people are into it, they are out there throwing punches that they think are real, even though they're not. That's going to suck the audience even more.
Right.
But it's not important. That's my point. It doesn't seem to be important, or it wouldn't happen as often. Now, I know everybody can't throw a punch as good as Jerry the King Lawler, but you can try.
Or Bob Cook.
And you also have to have people tell them that, remind them that. Look, but that's no different than, if I ran a company like that and say, hey, look, I don't want none of you dipshits wearing earrings, nose rings, necklaces during matches, because guess what? Muhammad Ali did, and he was a real goddamn fighter. The UFC guys don't do that because they're real goddamn fighters, and your purpose as pro wrestlers is to convince your audience that you're real goddamn fighters. Doesn't matter what your audience thinks or what they may know. You can still convince them it's real if you stop fucking around. And that should be your goal every time you step in the ring, to make the people believe. They could say, well, that match was shit, that match was shit. But holy crap, those two guys were mad at each other. They really fought each other.
Right.
Can still be done.
Terry says that he can watch old school match all day long over and over again, but can barely sit through a whole WWE show. I agree.
Well, I suggest standing up. Try that. I'm just kidding. Or lay down. That'd be an easier way to go.
Next, we get a Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, and Ethan Page recap, a video package recap of last week's issues involving Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio, and Rusev. Then we see Jackie Redmond interviewing Chad Gable. Jackie Redmond caught up with Gable backstage before his match. Gable discusses recent challenges and vowed to continue improving himself. Robbie, look, I get that. Fine. Chad Gable is turning into a babyface, supposedly. But this is the two things that are going through my head. One, if they're truly turning a babyface, they're trying way too fucking hard. It's coming across way too cheesy. Or they're trying to convince us too hard. And I see a double cross coming. Robbie, where you at?
Yes, I think they're trying too hard and, just pushing it too hard.
It seems like they're trying to convince. Whenever I have creative trying to convince me something so hard, I start to think, this is kind of becoming obvious that they're trying to swerve us, and we're going to see Gable completely turn on Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. And I'll be honest, Bob, I hope that happens because Chad Gable is in my opinion, one of the best professional wrestlers, not just in WWE, in professional wrestling, period. And character-wise, though, I prefer a heel Chad Gable. Where are you at with this?
I actually'd rather see Dragon Lee and Ray turn on him.
Oh, I would love that.
Switch it up. You want to really make Chad a heel or a babyface? Make those guys heels. That'd be cool. Ray's never been a heel, has he? Or that I remember.
I don't know. I have
maybe in WCW when he's part of that when he had his mask off.
Yeah, the filthy animals or dirty animals, whatever it's called. Maybe, but I don't consider that a real heel run because it just wasn't very good, compelling TV, in my opinion. I would love to see something like of substance with Ray as a heel. I agree.
Like Ray could just spin it back to, you were making a mockery of Lucha Libre. That's my heart. That's my soul. Whatever. It'd be cool. Why not? What do you got to lose? Not like 10,000 people are there every week to see Ray anyways. He just happens to be on the card. He comes out and they cheer. But they're not there specifically. He's not the ticket seller. So turn him heel. Of course, maybe he sells a lot of merchandise. And you're like, well, sells a lot of masks, sells a lot of this. I don't know what's going on. Give me another Mountain Dew. Julie, give me a Mountain Dew. I don't know who Julie is, but it sounds like a good name.
Guys, next we have Chad Gable versus Rusev. Look, I just said that I believe that Chad Gable is one of the best professional wrestlers in the business. This is how good Chad Gable is, in my opinion, Robbie. Chad Gable is so good that this was one of Rusev's better matches last night. And it was because of Chad Gable, not because of Rusev.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely because of Chad, not because of Rusev.
Yeah. We've seen Rusev ultimately tap out. But then there was chaos. Ethan Page attacked Chad Gable after the match. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee rushed to the ring to even the odds and send Page and Rusev retreating. Bob, are you a big Ethan Page fan?
Not really.
Let me rephrase that question because I don't think you're a real big fan of a lot of the younger people today. Do you think Ethan Page has what it takes to become the next top main eventer?
Oh, no, not at all.
Robbie?
No. I mean...
But I thought the same thing about Gunther.
Yeah, and you were wrong about Gunther.
Still do.
Yeah.
I'll fight you all day long about Gunther. Both of you.
Let me get in shape first.
Well, they keep doing what they're doing with Gunther there. You make him look like a whiner just like Sammy. So, I mean, I don't know. Page has his moments, though. I mean, I've just, for whatever reason, I've never been a fan of him. I wasn't a fan of him in AEW or NXT. But you kind of watch him, and he has his moments. I'll give him that.
This is my deal with Ethan Page. Every time I've seen Ethan Page, his character's always been a heel. I don't buy him being that much of an asshole. He looks too much of like a good guy. I think maybe he'd come across, his character would come across better as a babyface, in my opinion. He just looks like that all-American nice young man. And to see him as a heel, I don't know. I like my heels to look like heels. That's why some guys can't be heels.
Have you ever watched this footage on his channel? Like when he went to the WWE headquarters and he went to the WrestleMania Access store. That's hilarious stuff. The way you treat people.
I need to check it out.
Yeah, I loved it.
Look, I mean, last night I felt like I was watching a version of the Don Callis family because of so many segments with the Bloodline. Once again, now we have Roman Reigns and Usos backstage. Reigns met with Jimmy and Jey Uso backstage as they discussed, went down with Jacob Fatu. The Usos were questioning Reigns, like, what the hell, dude? This isn't what was supposed to happen. And Roman said, I called an audible. And then he said, but we still have issues with LA Knight that needs to be handled. Robbie, did you get that Don Callis feeling last night just because, like we complained to AEW, seems like Dynamite is just completely centered around the Don Callis family. Last night seemed like it was just completely centered around the Bloodline.
Yes. Yeah.
Here it is. Paige reminds me of TNA young Bobby Roode. Bite your tongue.
Bobby Roode. Who's Bobby Roode? Oh, Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode came out with.
I know who you drew a blank.
Yeah. I love Bobby Roode. Paige is not even
like James Storm. I met him a couple times in Jacksonville. Cool guy.
We go now to a Bron Breakker promo. Breakker addressed Seth Rollins and continued to make his intentions known regarding their escalating rivalry. For fuck's sake, I'm ready for this to be done with. It should have ended last week. Instead, someone creative said, oh, I have an idea. This is fresh. Let's continue this freaking feud. Bob, is this compelling storytelling to you, or nah, man, this should be done with and it should have ended last week?
I don't know. What are we talking about again?
Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's almost like they got nothing for those guys to do, so they're just going to keep putting them in a match against each other.
Robbie, is this making you want to tune in every week?
Yes, I want it to end.
Once you tune in, so it ends.
Right. I mean,
tune in.
Find a new storyline. I mean, well, here's what else is funny though. Think about this. So even with creative, so they had Gunther attack Seth Rollins at one point, and then they dropped it. So he attacked him once, and Seth didn't come back for revenge or whatever. They did their one-time deal, and that was it.
Yeah, they kind of went away from this big favor that Paul Heyman owes Gunther as well. I mean, they can, I guess they have something in their back pocket if they need to, that emergency storyline. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but now if you revisit that, you've kind of killed that idea because you went away from it instead of carried it out.
Bob Cook, is there such thing as you've killed that idea by kind of introducing briefly a storyline and then kind of letting it, I guess, rest, put it to the side for now, and then bringing it back later?
Well, sure. Wasn't the reason because Bron got hurt initially for the Gunther stuff? And then again, I think that's a lot of the reasons this feud seems like it's dragging out for so long is because Bron got hurt and Seth got hurt and they finally got together, but it seems like it's even longer because of all that space in between the injuries. And they really only had, 3 matches or something?
Yeah.
God, back in the day when Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk and whoever they had their feuds, you wanted to see them all. They came to Florida in 1980 or 81. They brought their feud from Memphis. They wrestled every spot in Florida, Tampa, Sarasota, Fort Myers. I was at every show. Every match was different. Every match was awesome. So it really boils down to, do you care about the characters? Because if you cared about the characters, you go, yeah, I want to see those guys go again. Like, do you want to see Terry Funk against Ric Flair 10 times in a row? Yes. So it really belongs to the characters and whether you give a shit about them.
I agree, but I think it goes further than that. Back then, professional wrestling, these guys told a story in their matches. And it almost felt like if you missed just one of their matches, you missed an entire segment of a story.
Oh, definitely. And you did, because I remember, like, let's just go like Tuesday night in Tampa, Wednesday night in Miami, all these shows, and then Sarasota, Robarts Arena, packed, Jerry Lawler, Terry Funk main event. And even Coach John Heath, and Robbie knows who Coach was, got involved in a match and punched Terry. The place went crazy. John was probably 60-some years old, maybe, you think. Robbie in our era, 66 years old, probably. He was the promoter. He was just a promoter. He was a wrestler in his day, a great wrestler and an amateur wrestler, but he was just a promoter for Sarasota, Fort Myers, in that territory or section of Florida. And the people went crazy. So I don't know where I went with that. I just thought I'd mention it.
But it's true.
It's a great memory.
This is why when I was a kid watching Mid-South Wrestling, and I knew that Saturday night there was a show happening, in New Orleans at the Citrus somewhere, right? South Carolina, wherever it was. And as a fan back then, I couldn't be there live. I couldn't wait till the following weekend on Mid-South so they would show clips of what happened, because the characters and the story they told in the ring. You literally were getting excited about house shows to see what happened during house shows. You don't do that shit no more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they built it up on TV, like Harley against Dusty for the world title, and you'd go to the Bayfront Center to be packed, and they're the main event. They go out there and have an awesome match, and you'd be like, hey, man, they're wrestling each other again in Fort Myers. Maybe Dusty will get the title this time. You went to that show, too, and you were excited about it.
Right. Robbie, do you think...
Of course, I was also a young man, and I had a life and a reason to live. Now it's not so much.
You got this podcast. That's reason to live.
Oh.
Robbie, do you think professional wrestling could be...
Wait, can I figure that up? Go ahead. I'll figure it up and I'll let you know.
Okay. Do you think professional wrestling could be resurrected to that point again where we used to be? Talking about the house shows. If you couldn't make it to the house show, you were excited for that weekly program with the hopes that they would tell you what happened at that house show because it was just so good.
Not in today's era because of social media.
True.
True. If you missed it, you're going to see it on social media before it even gets to the show because, everybody with cell phones and everything else, social media we didn't have that. Think about that. Nobody had this, the cell phones to tape stuff and everything. Right. So I think, I don't think so because of social media.
That's true. I don't remember whose book I read that said this, but they talked about how doing these house shows, you would see titles drop, right? But then when it got on TV, you never knew about it because it didn't count unless it happened on TV. And it's because there was no phones, right? There was no social media. You were able to do these type of things.
By the way, I figured it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are 24 hours in the day, 7 days in a week. That comes to 168 hours divided by 1.5, we'll say, for an hour and a half show. It's like 66.5 hours in a week to look forward to just an hour and a half. So it really isn't worth living just for this show. I just want to check that out.
Guys, you heard of Steiner math? That was the cooker's math. Guys, now we go to the segment that I was talking about, why I feel like creative they're disconnected from the fans. And we're talking about LA Knight, the Usos, and Jacob Fatu. LA Knight came to the ring looking for answers. Jimmy Uso, and this is the big thing, was we've seen LA Knight lose the King of the Ring match because of Solo. And he is saying Solo is part of the bloodline. Jimmy Uso came out and said, look, Solo's not part of it. Then Jay came out. Then it turned to a big fight. Jay at one point grabbed a chair, that LA Knight was able to get away from him and hit him with. But then Fatu came and took LA Knight out. At this point, this is LA Knight, a guy that fans supposedly absolutely love, and yet the Bloodline did not get booed. They got cheered. LA Knight didn't get booed. They were just cheering. You didn't even really hear boos. They were just cheers. There was no clear babyface freaking heel in this story. This is why I'm saying that creative is disconnected from the fans, because they're pushing the Bloodline as being this heel faction now, and it's not working. They are clearly being cheered, Robbie.
Yeah. I don't, who knows, maybe just, they're just disconnected and they're saying we're going to stick with our idea and push them as heels.
Yeah.
But is creative disconnected from the fans, or are the fans disconnected from creative in the sense that they don't really care baby faces, heels? All they want is the chaos.
That leads me to my next question. And we just talked about this, Robbie, I think on Thursday night. One of the fans made a comment talking about we need to resurrect the Attitude Era. And we both said you can't. The Attitude Era was something that happened organically, right? But at the same time, it seems like the fans, their mentality with cheering the guys who's supposed to be the bad guys, that mentality is back. It seems like that's where we're at. We're back at that mentality that the fans had during the Attitude Era.
But
so are we wrong? Can the Attitude Era be brought back as far as, there's really no bad guy, no good guy. It's kind of that gray area there.
But at the same time, was the Attitude Era as great as people think? In the meantime of the Attitude Era, they also had the oddities. The goofy, insane clown posse with John Tent under a mask acting like an idiot, with Luna there, unfortunately, putting her in that group. And then you had Steve Austin and The Rock. That was just fantastic stuff. So between all the stuff you went, holy crap, did Austin say that? Holy crap. There was all that other shit, too.
Right.
So,
Right.
Like I always say, every era had its good, bad, great, and sad.
Well,
from the beginning till now.
Absolutely. But the thing is I'm talking about strictly the mindset of the fans right now. They're back where they were during the Attitude Era. We've seen this shift where there's clearly no line between the heels and the baby faces. It's kind of gray.
Hey, did you see the two best signs of the show? One guy had a sign that said, "I sold my house for these tickets," and another guy had a sign that said, "I miss 1-star matches and jobbers." And they had a picture of Barry Horowitz, the Brooklyn Brawler, and somebody else. I thought it was hilarious.
Robbie, where are you at with the fans, man? That mentality.
I think they're just going to cheer for who they want to cheer for.
Well,
for good guys or bad guys, I just think that's where we're at in today's society.
But how should creative adjust to that to make it, again, I think part of the Attitude Era was creative adjusting to the fans, that the fans are going to cheer guys, the anti-heroes. Should creative be doing that now again? Robbie?
I mean, hell, they're having a hard time trying to put together storylines or stuff to keep everybody. So, you may be just expecting way too much of these guys.
Well, this debate has always been there. When they turned Austin heel to side with Vince at WrestleMania 17, one of the best WrestleManias ever, that main event match with The Rock and Austin, plus all the other matches. People were all down on that because they didn't want to hate Austin. And they didn't want to, and it didn't really work.
Nope.
But it was just one of those things that, hey, we got this idea, let's do it. It'll shock people. And at the moment, it was people were like, oh, and then Jim Ross like, Steve Austin, you son of a bitch. It was great stuff, but it didn't go anywhere. But everybody wanted to cheer Austin because he was just so damn entertaining.
I think there's something else that's missing with WWE. Actually, honestly, with AEW as well. color commentary has been such a big part of professional wrestling when you're watching on TV. Just the emotions and the Jim Ross, as you just said, Steve, are you son of a bit? It's not there anymore, and it makes it even more blah, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean especially me, pissing and moaning about like Tony Schiavone, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Booker T, just that. I mean, you think about it. You had Jim Ross, from back in the day. Jim was great with, Cornette. And you had, Bobby
Jerry Lawler.
Well, yeah, but I mean, also when back in the day, Ross was with Cornette and everything, and you had that. I mean, even hell, you go ECW, and I mean, the great combination was Joey Styles and Joel Gertner.
Yeah.
So I mean, you look forward to that, with those people.
Even Vampiro and Matt Stryker were great commentators on Lucha Underground.
For a while, I hated Jim Ross, and I'll tell you why.
What?
let me explain to you why. Again, I grew up watching Mid-South Wrestling, Jim Ross, and Georgia Championship Wrestling. And one day, when I turned on WWF at the time, and Jim Ross was there, I was pissed. I mean, you fucking traitor. You traitor.
WrestleMania 9, right? The toga gimmick? Yeah.
And I'm like, you traitor. How could you go? Because WWE was, they were the enemy, in my opinion. I didn't like them. I didn't have nothing to do with them. What a smart move that man made by going to WWE.
Oh, yeah.
What he was.
It was amazing. Jim Ross calling the action for Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, that one match. Oh, my God. Fantastic stuff.
Look, I'll go as far as saying that Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler was just as responsible for the success during that era.
Mm-hmm.
That, they were just as responsible as the professional wrestlers that were, because they just made it, draws in. You're right. Commentary, they're not invested. You're right, Terry. I completely agree with you.
But commentators have always meant so much. Look at Lance Russell in Memphis. He was such a great commentator. He was one of the few that wouldn't put up with the nonsense. If somebody did something on the show, he'd question, oh, now why'd you do, he didn't just go along with the script. It was great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you even look like from our era in Florida Championship Wrestling, Gordon Soley.
Oh, biggest thrill of my life was the night I went home on a Saturday night after the Wednesday morning taping, and Gordon Soley was calling my match for the first time. It was like, you thought you made it, even though I made $25 for the match. It was like, holy crap. That was one of the few times my dad actually, he watched that and he goes, I don't like wrestling. I didn't agree with your decision, but I'm proud of you. Because he knew how much it meant to me, and Gordon Soley was the man,
I know this is going to be a big surprise for you fans out there that may have missed Raw that's joining in for this recap. But unexpectedly, backstage, we have the Bloodline again. You know what? We're talking about Don. At least Don Callis. The reason why there's so much of Don Callis in AEW is because he has such a large faction. The Bloodline's only 4 fucking people, and yet they took up the whole show last night. The Usos and Fatu backstage. Jimmy and Jay argue backstage about what had happened with LA Knight. Jacob Fatu interrupted the conversation and declared that the situation needed to be handled the OTC way.
You ever hear of Corey Feldman?
Yes, of course.
Just popped up on my screen. Prayers up for Corey Feldman. I don't know what's going on, but it just popped up on my screen.
Really?
Like a news report.
Now you're making me look that up because
I don't know. It just
grew up watching that kid.
Could be one of those clickbait gimmicks,
Let's see. Corey. Hold on. Corey Feldman rushed to hospital after a flight from Chicago.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Rest in peace, Corey. I'm just covering the bases.
No, he was LX flight LX God damn it, LAX, Chicago Monday afternoon. When he was met by paramedics, Corey was feeling very sick on the flight, and he was checked out by the doctors who was on board. We're told the doctors think the issue might be pancreatitis or gallstones. I thought maybe the issue was he put so much dye in his fucking hair that maybe he poisoned himself.
Well, I just saw it pop on my screen. I don't know. I was never a fan, but I don't wish ill on the man.
Oh yeah, you missed Blondie talking to Austin Theory. Yeah, Chad Gable walking by. We seen Maxine Dupree talking to Austin Theory. I purposely skipped that because I don't give a fuck about Maxine.
There's something going on with those two because there was that segment where they were getting in the car one time and she was in the passenger side. They didn't try to show, but you saw her there. Something going on there.
She's dating that guy, I think, from Baton Rouge, actually. The big.
Well, you better watch the show more often.
Robbie
and I know what goes on the road, don't we, Robbie? I mean, not with us, but with the other wrestlers.
Again, another Bloodline segment. This time with Jacob Fatu talking about the OTC way. Number one, what'd you think about this segment? And is there just too much Bloodline last night?
Yeah, definitely, way too much. I mean, God knows how many probably took up over an hour and a half of it,
What, really? I bet it didn't take up more than 30 minutes total, but just the difference.
That was the opening segment was 30 minutes.
That's true. But for the record, I think they should put Maxine with Logan and them. What a woman.
Maxine Dupree just got, according to Terry, Maxine Dupree just got married.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. They should still put her with Logan and them. Just mix it up. Get a female in there. A hot one, by the way.
And I don't think she's that pretty.
Well, then again, you think 80-inch TV is impressive. So,
Fatal 4-Way recap, a video package air recapping last week's Fatal 4-Way involving Charlotte Flair, so Ruka, Livricor, and Jay Cargill, which is taking us next to the Queen of the Ring semifinals. Charlotte Flair with Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan attempted to get involved, but Alexa Bliss neutralized interference. Charlotte capitalized on the distraction and locked in the figure 8 leg lock. Roxanne Perez tapped out. Shocker. And who didn't see this coming from a mile away? Charlotte Flair is the winner.
Stevie Wonder.
He even seen it coming from all the way.
Oh, okay.
Robbie,
Ray Charles didn't, because he's dead.
He saw it from 2 miles away.
He's dead.
So,
got to be realistic, Robbie. At least Stevie's still here.
Hey, he saw it from 2 miles away, and he saw it from his gravesite. So there.
Well, you know what they say about the graves. You'd say, do not stand in my grave and cry, I'm not here, I did not die. That's what Terry Funk said about his father. So come on. I think that's on Terry Funk's father's grave. Terry Funk's scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of curious to see now what they're going to do with Charlotte and Liv, though.
Is it?
Yeah, what do you think they're going to do?
Liv Morgan's taking it.
Liv
Morgan.
Why though? She's already the champion.
It don't matter. They're going to put both belts on her. Watch.
Yeah, but it's not a belt. It's
belts.
Just a
crown.
If she wins,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But
but you also thought they were. Never mind. We'll get to that later.
But here's the thing that also about this, that WWE should take a note from AEW, because I noticed, and I guess we'll get to it when we get to that part. I'll talk it there. Yeah, I mean, but see, here's the thing though. You could, if they were smart and creative.
What?
You noticed I said if. Here's where you could kind of split the not the bloodline. I mean, see now you could split Judgment Day up, and you could have either Roxanne or Raquel or both interfere and cost her the match.
Or you could fire them, get rid of Judgment Day altogether.
It's too soon for that, though. They got at least another year and a half before they split out Roxanne Perez with.
Right, but I've seen stuff that she may be doing more time down on AAA or whatever.
AAA?
Yeah.
Hey, she got a drinking problem.
Yeah, she does. So even though we didn't talk about it, I'm going to bring it up anyways in this segment since none of us really care about this match.
I cared about Liv Morgan.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons.
One man's wrong is another man's right.
So we didn't talk about it on Friday night SmackDown, and it should be addressed.
Sure.
I honestly think that when Jade lost her wig, she should have just threw it out in the crowd. That would have got a bigger pop. So instead of standing there like a dumbass holding it with one hand and trying to wrestle with the other, I think she should have just took it off and threw it out in the crowd.
Well, you never know what she was being told by the referee, who was being told by the people in the back what to do. It was kind of like, oh my God, look, tell Jade to hold on to her head. You never know.
Yeah, I think she would have got a big pop. She would have threw that wig out in the crowd.
But if they told her not to and she went to the back, she might have got a bigger pop by the head. Look, dipshit, we told you to hold on to the fucking wig. Now everybody knows you're a bald bastard.
Maxine Dupree married Cam Hendricks from NXT.
Wow, that's exciting. Never heard of him.
Terry, isn't that the kid from Baton Rouge that has a gap in between? No, that's not him. I thought the kid from Baton Rouge that was on LFG was.
I want to know who it is exactly so I can hate him.
Speaking of blowing our wigs off our heads because of something so great, the next segment wasn't it either. Javon Evans was in the ring with Jackie Redmond. Javon joined Jackie Redmond in the ring to discuss his recent success and future goals. Talking about the next, match he's going to be facing Jay Uso is going to be the biggest match of his career. And then, surprised, everybody got a big surprise because Logan Paul, ladies and gentlemen, is back. I, for one, was glad to see Logan Paul back. I like Logan Paul. Yep. And on top of it, I was so glad to see Logan Paul interrupt this train wreck of a fucking interview. Robbie, I know you like Javon Evans, but this interview was absolutely one of his fucking worst since he's been on the main roster, in my opinion. He came across as trying to be, I don't know if the kid was supposed to be concerned, fearful, enthusiastic about this big opportunity to face Uso. It was fucking confusing. I don't know what was going on, but I absolutely hated it.
But I see, and again, to me, creative missed the boat here again. I think Javon should have went with the Vision, bring him in, and now you could have taken the Vision, and you could have brought Bron and Logan, because he can't get involved, but Austin Theory and stuff, and have them interfere in this match with Jey Uso, where you could also put Javon over Jey, and now you got a feud with the Bloodlines, which would be kind of cool to see Bron Breakker and all of them with that.
This is a problem with that. We all know that creative has already finished the storyline with King of the Ring. It's already marked for SummerSlam, Bob Cook. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes, with Jey Uso winning the title.
What?
Let me
Get
hold
out
on.
of here.
Let me
Where'd
tell
you hear
why.
that?
Wait, hold on.
Marks.com?
Michael McCurdy, I think even Robbie agreed that he could see this happening. Jey Uso is going to win that title. Why? That's a good question, Bob. I'll tell you why. Because now we're going to have Jey Uso as the champ, Roman Reigns the champ of the Bloodline. So now those two to cause the friction, and then we're going to have that fucking match. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Mark my words. If that doesn't happen, I will shave my head bald.
Yeah, but aren't you already bald?
That's besides the point.
Oh. I don't know, bald. It's a Jericho gimmick.
Yes, this is
Bald. That was funny, though. Speaking of which, let's not change the subject as I change the subject. But how awesome was that Tekla, or whatever her name is, interview on Collision where she wiped her legitimate spit on Tony Schiavone's jacket? I laughed out loud.
That was awesome.
Would have been better if she spit on Tony Schiavone.
Nah, I think that was funnier because I wonder if he was in on that or she just did it. I think it'd be funnier if she just did it.
You know, I'll be honest with you. At this rate, I should really, instead of us getting together on Tuesdays to talk about the train wreck of Monday Night Raw, we should be talking about fucking Collision on Tuesdays. That's the better show here lately out of all three, of the shows. Robbie, do you see this happening?
I can see it happening. I
I can't.
Well, if you put your glasses back on, you can maybe see it then.
You can talk, and I'm going to imagine.
So, but I mean, but how cool would it have been if Javon would have went to the Vision?
Oh, I agree.
And now you set up like with Bron Breakker, with Fatu, Roman. You had all kinds of angles to go with this stuff, and then Javon and.
I was hoping when they came out, and at first they asked Javon Evans if he wanted to join. Then they told him he was joining. I was hoping that was going to happen.
So did I.
Because I think Javon Evans right now needs a mouthpiece. I do. I don't think he's great on the mic, and I think that he can learn. I don't care what you say, Bob Cook. He can learn from Paul Heyman. Speaking of, it was weird not to have Heyman on TV last night with the Vision.
Right.
Now, this Javon Evans versus Austin Theory match. And we've heard of the RKO out of nowhere. That's not what we had last night from Randy Orton. What we had, though, was a spear from nowhere from Bron Breakker when he speared Javon Evans out of his boots, ending the match. In disqualification, then Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins made their way to the ring. Look, Angelo Dawkins is back. I want to give praise to Angelo Dawkins right now. Every time this young man has been off of TV and come back, he's looked better. Last night, I thought when he came back last time, he looked good. Holy shit.
Yep.
He looked really good last night, Bob Cook.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Yeah. Robbie?
Yeah, he looked good. So.
But Robbie's analogy about the should have with Javon Evans, that takes you back to a time in Atlanta at the Dungeon. It was a bar talking to this really good looking girl and this really fat girl. And the fat girl was paying extra close attention to me. And that's like the should have, or you could have, or you would have, or I wish it would have happened. And you wake up the next morning, look over, and it's the fat girl, and you go, I wish it was the good looking girl. It's the same analogy. It's not happening. It didn't happen. So why think about it?
That's what you call going to bed at 2 with a 10 and waking up at 10 with a 2.
Well,
now, guys,
using that as an example of what should have happened that didn't happen. Who gives a shit because it didn't happen?
No, but I can see what Robbie's saying, though, Bob.
I understand, too. I was just trying to be funny, and it didn't work out. I'll be better next time.
Now, guys, hold on to your seats because we had something else unexpected happen. Another Bloodline segment.
Oh.
Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu backstage. Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns had a conversation about how he handled the LA Knight. Roman Reigns praised Fatu and acknowledged that he understood exactly how Fatu thinks. But before leaving, Roman Reigns whispered sweet nothings into Fatu's ear. What those sweet nothings were, I don't know. I guess
I know.
They want to build on more suspense for the Bloodline. Bob, what kind of sweet nothings was he whispering into Fatu's ear?
I got donuts in the limo.
Robbie, did this leave you questioning and anticipation of what could Roman Reigns be telling Fatu?
No. No.
I agree. I'm like, okay, whatever. Now, in all seriousness, the big surprise happened next in the Oba Femi versus Dom Mysterio match. And I tell you why. All of us have said it's going to be Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I don't think they're going that direction, gentlemen, because Oba Femi beat Dominik Mysterio in basically kind of a squash match. Dom got a little bit of offense because of attacking Oba Femi from behind, but there was much of nothing. I was surprised out at the outcome of this match. Now, after the match, and it gets even more confusing. After the match, Oba grabbed the microphone and reminded everyone that he is now one victory away from becoming king of the ring and having his crown. The king needs his crown. He then called out Brock Lesnar for failing to appear and questioned Lesnar's legacy as Raw went off the air. This is my fear of what's going to happen. And I've talked about this. With the exception of a couple of people, every time they decided to make the King of the Ring winner a true king on TV, it has just sucked. With the exception of Harley Race, the exception of Booker T.
Yeah, Booker was funny.
Guys. But other than that,
Macho Man was a cool
man.
kid.
I said a couple, a few people.
Oh, okay.
But other than those exceptions, it's not been very good. You want to talk about ruining Oba Femi's, in my opinion, character? Go that route with him. And the way he's talking about his crown and blah, 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 Robbie, I feel like
what was that?
What to do.
Yeah, I mean, but there's still an outside chance that they're going to do something to screw Oba Femi and put Javon over him.
I don't know,
It
man.
would have made more sense if you'd have had Javon join the Vision, and you would have had the Vision.
I think it makes more sense that what they're going to do is, if indeed Oba doesn't go to SummerSlam at the title shot, for a title shot, because he doesn't win King of the Ring, which it seems like that's what we're going to do. I'm just saying. But if they don't do it, I think what's going to happen is there's a better chance that he's going to face Jey Uso and the Bloodline is going to interfere, or better yet, Brock Lesnar is going to interfere and still cost him the match. Hence leaving us Jey Uso with Cody Rhodes. But again, I was expecting Oba to somehow lose last night to set up. I was expecting Brock Lesnar to interfere last night.
But isn't SummerSlam 2 months away?
It's August 2nd. I'll be there.
Oh, okay. A month and a half.
Yeah.
No, a month and a half. Close.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Tell Vince I said hi when you go there.
Would you guys consider building that storyline with Oba and Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam, or to add to it? Because if it happens, I have a feeling it's going to be that retirement match. Is a month and a half, a month, a couple of weeks, whatever it is that long enough to build and make it a storyline of substance, or is that too short of a time, Bob?
No, they got plenty of time. You could build a story if you do it right in a week. You can make people want to see. People are short. What is the word? Short attention spans nowadays. So, like, you could do something crazy the week before, and people are like, holy crap, I wasn't even going to watch SummerSlam, but now I am.
Yeah. In today's world, though, it's also instant gratification.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's true. That's why I say Maxine should join Logan and them.
Yeah.
No, Jordan Grace.
Jordan Gray. Have you seen her lately? It's like she doesn't work out anymore or something. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to make a comeback.
Really? I'm not.
Really?
I don't care if she comes back.
I think that
I'd rather see her than than Maxine Dupree.
I was about to say that. Completely, 100%. She's much more athletic.
Darn it.
I don't know.
Way better worker.
As long as you didn't say you'd rather see her than Megan Bain, I'd jump through this phone right now.
I'd rather see Jordan Grace than
Kick
Megan.
your ass.
You know what?
That's it, Ido. I'm coming out of retirement. TWA next show. I don't know when it is, but when it is, I'm kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Gotta wait till I move to Florida so I can walk somebody down to the ring.
Well, Planet Fitness don't open until the end of the week, so I got time.
You know, Megan Bain and Jordan Grace, when Megan Bain first came back to AEW, I would have preferred to see her again, prefer to see her over Jordan Grace. But now, since Megan Bain seems to just be phoning it in all the time, I'd prefer to see Jordan Grace now. I mean, but I think it's because they have, and I've said this, I think it's because they have her in a tag team. Put her back as a singles competitor and let her do what she was doing before.
Make her the world champion.
Before you put her way too soon against freaking Monet. That was dumb.
Yeah, but I wouldn't make her world champion because I don't think she's got the personality. I mean, I'd let Tekla run with this for a while.
I didn't say put her as world champion.
No, he did. He did. The Megan Bain fan did.
Megan. She's the bane of my existence.
Personality of like Tekla. Tekla,
That's because she's not allowed to show it. They're telling her what to do and how to act.
You don't know. No,
I could bring the person. I could bring the person. I could.
Not in AEW. AEW, they do what they want to do.
Yeah. That's what they want you to think.
Look, Tekla has saved that women's division by making it interesting. Although, why do they have your world champion in a faction with two girls who now cannot win matches to save their lives? Which is really annoying because both Julia and the other one, Sky Blue, they should be dominating that division. Win after win. That should be the faction that is fear. You have Julia, who is so good technically. You have Sky Blue, who is absolutely just a badass, willing to fucking bleed. I mean, and then you have Tekla. What are they doing? And I know this is supposed to be all Monday Night Raw, guys, but I'm sorry. Monday Night Raw, WWE is boring right now. There's more to talk about with AEW.
Why not get a women's championship in AEW as well that doesn't look gigantic? Medusa didn't have a WWE title as big as the rest, as the guys. Make it a women's championship. Make it look normal. Make it look classic, not just gigantic belt that she has to wear.
Like I said, I just think they need to do something with that faction. Overall, Robbie, I will give Monday Night Raw. You know what? I'm going to do 2 grades. I'm going to do a grade for the talent. I'll give the talent, the matches, because they were decent matches, a B+. I'm going to give the creative aspect of Monday Night Raw, and I'll be a C-. Robbie?
Okay, so we're going to go 2 grades because I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
In talent, I'll give him a B. I mean, matches weren't bad. I mean, you could have done without. Could have probably gave him a little bit higher if we didn't have so much of the bloodline. Creative, I'm going to give him a D.
Bob, where you at?
I'm just going to give the show a C across the board.
And Terry's being nice, giving him the C.
Yeah, Raw gave C-. Well, look, this is why I gave 2 grades. As a non-performer, as a guy who's not a professional wrestler, who's never been in a ring, I have a hard time saying, "Oh, well, the show was a C- altogether," because they're still going out there in the ring. I think they're still giving good matches. The matches are still somewhat entertaining. You know how I am. I have a hard time criticizing most of the time the actual talent, the performances in the ring.
Oh, really? When I mentioned Megan Bain, there's nothing but criticism.
No. I said if you compare her to what she was when she first came, to how her performance is right now, that she is definitely not putting out there what she was before. And it's because, and I'm taking up for her, I'm saying it's because they have her in a stupid tag team. That they should have her back as being a singles performer where she was putting those quality matches. I think that it seems to me that she doesn't want to be part of this tag team. She prefers to be a singles performer because it looks like that she's just not putting forth the type of matches that she was before.
I blame her home life. She's not getting the encouragement, the motivation, the praise at home to succeed at work.
Yeah. Well, home,
that's what I believe.
Yeah. Well, I think at home, if what they should be telling her is like, stop being a lazy ass and put back forth the effort there and do what you used to do.
Now, I will criticize gear. Megan Dane needs to
here we go.
The 1940s grandma fucking pantyhose that she pulls up to her tits.
But so does, you know, who else does that? Is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair does the same thing, though.
Yes. It's like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. It looks terrible.
Yes, definitely.
And Tony Storm wears them too.
Tony Khan.
Probably him too.
Yes.
You ever see the movie Paradise Alley?
I think I have.
Never mind.
But
Terry Funk, Sylvester Stallone. Look
so,
at
you know, and part of the saving grace, and I will say this, I wasn't with the Oba Femi Dom thing when he was running around and in and out, and I just thought, God, they better fucking squash him like he should be, and at least they did that.
Yeah.
I'll give creative, you know, that's why they got a D instead of a D-.
Well, they're not going to have the king and queen Liv and Dom.
I would not put that past creative. Are you kidding me?
Well, Dom got beat. How can he be the king now?
He did. I know that. I'm saying I would not have put that past
creative. Right, I wouldn't either.
I was expecting that to happen.
Well, who else is in the tournament now?
Jey Uso's taking it. It's going to be
I'm not talking. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the women.
Oh,
it's Charlotte Flair, Liv Morgan is Friday, and then whoever wins is
SummerSlam.
No, but I mean, who's it's Charlotte and Liv going to face who won? Oh, Io Sky. But see, you could do the Io Sky. Well, no, she would go after Liv if she wins.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Like, when's the crowning of the king or queen?
Isn't Saudi Arabia before SummerSlam?
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
So it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. But see, and then here's where what I wanted to make a point. The same like with you got to give AEW credit, like when they do certain matches that are for titles or whatever, they keep the outside interference out of there. And if you watched last night, here was my other big issue with creative. Other than the first match with Io and Raquel, every other match had outside interference.
True.
I mean, it's not bad to have maybe one match,
right,
but not the whole rest of the card. So you had one match that did not have outside interference where people were, and now it's the rest you had outside interference. And when you do the championship matches, at least in AEW, they make sure that people aren't down at ringside. And, you know, yeah, you could say the Shane promotion thing, but it was after the match, after he lost. So it makes sense that now his promotion's going to come and attack him. You had Liv Morgan involved in the match. You had, you know, they were just people involved in every match that was there afterwards. It was all, you know, the King of the Ring with Dom. You had JD McDonough, you know, you just have people in there all night long. And that shit gets old after a while, too.
Right.
They have to justify their existence.
And for all the fans, I get DMs, I swear to God, on Fridays. It never fails. I'll get a couple people DM me, why are you always talking bad about AEW? All you do is think I thought you like AEW. Here you go, guys. We're not shitting on AEW. Look, we give our honest opinion about stuff. Fuck yourselves.
But
my biggest problem is AEW. AEW needs to bring Ronda Rousey back for real.
And that's not going to happen.
Puppy. Cock.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, if they did, they'd put her with the Death Riders because she'd be with Maria.
And it would ruin it. Her and Maria
Okay.
will be going to tag
Never
team
mind
champions.
then.
Guarantee you.
Yeah, but I mean, they would be a legitimate. I mean, because they're actually
yeah.
like really good friends, though.
Right.
They're very good friends.
Yeah, but the thing is I don't want to see a tag team with Ronda Rousey and Maria. I want to see them in singles, right?
Right.
Why Maria Shafir has not won a fucking title yet, I don't know. Because she's a legit badass. But
Yeah, but I think it took her a while to accustom over, make the transformation.
Yeah, but you're doing stupid shit. Let's talk about that match with the Death Riders real quick. You brought it up on Wednesday night, right? Against the Shane Douglas. Oh, not Shane Douglas, the Shane without Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor Promotions.
When they ripped her fucking boots and socks off and made her step in the glass. Really? Did you think about that? Because if that happens, and especially if you grind your foot in the glass, I don't care how much of a badass you are, you're going to rip your skin and there's going to be fucking blood. Did you really think ahead? Maybe that wasn't something you should have done. Because to me, they made it look fucking hokey. And so Maria Shafir is too much of a badass to be put in a position to look fucking hokey. Just my opinion. Don't know. Robbie?
No, but I mean, I was surprised. Maybe it just has taken her a while to make that transformation from MMA to wrestling, which though I was kind of surprised because being married to Chris, you would think Chris, would have been able to help her with that transformation.
I think her biggest weakness.
Who's Chris?
Her husband, Roddy Strong.
Oh, you said Chris.
Well, that's his real name.
I don't know these things. I don't know these people's real name.
I think her biggest weakness right now is she lacks mic skills. But they never let her talk to begin with, though, very rarely. But can you imagine her with someone like Bob? I know you're going to just with Paul Heyman. No, seriously. She would absolutely fit perfectly as a Paul Heyman's girl. She would fit in the same league as Brock Lesnar. She would.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not comfortable doing mic work and they don't push it on her.
But they should, because she needs to, because for her to reach that main event level that I think she's capable of being, I think that she has to get that down.
Maybe it gives her anxiety and they're conscious of her mental stress it could cause.
I
don't know.
I don't think she's had the mic, had enough time on the mic.
No, because it's constantly freaking Dean Ambrose. That's their attention,
Yeah, but you know who the big mouthpiece of that whole thing is Daniel Garcia.
Oh, and he's horrible.
For whatever reasons, though, if you watch when they do pan on them or give them mic time, he's the big part of it, that he's the mouthpiece.
Did you see that segment with Hook? That makes me laugh every time.
Oh my God. I can't even
I don't care how much of a real fighter he might be and he could kick my ass in real life. I mean, Jesus, who could?
Wait, Hook?
But he's freaking.
I
don't know. That's what I always heard. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But, like a shooter type.
Yeah. I guess
it just makes me laugh when he talks like that.
Have you heard, speaking of his dad, Taz, did you hear New Jack tell his story about Taz? Straight up called Taz a bitch? Straight up. Yeah. Said that he got into a confrontation and he got straight up bitch, like made to look like a bitch. I was like, holy shit.
Well, that's a story of Kevin Nash saying the same thing about Roddy Piper. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, Roddy Piper's definitely not a bitch.
Well, that's what Nash said.
I'm not saying Taz is a bitch. I'm saying that's what New Jack said, people.
Yeah, but New Jack was a dick, so. I mean, we met New Jack one time when he accused my kid of stealing his bike. Well, he was just kidding. He was just kidding. It was Robbie's fault. Him and his love for EW.
I just have a hard time.
That retard Bubba the Love Sponge and Cowhead. He really is a cowhead.
You asked if you could go along.
I was just kidding, Robbie. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Remember that? New Jack was messing with my kid. He's like, you stole my bicycle.
Did you know New Jack, Robbie?
No. But that was the first time I met him, and I mean, he was decent to us. You know.
Yeah, I was just kidding, but were we there? Was like Mike Awesome was there, wasn't he? I think he was.
So.
Maybe Raven. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mike Awesome, I'm pretty sure though. Billy Fonzie was there. He's the one that got us in, though, wasn't it, Fonzie?
I think
Fonzie,
so.
Yeah. I like Fonzie. I've met
Well, he's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's awesome, Daddy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, first time I met Fonzie, I think he was having a good time, fan fest. We had a couple of drinks, and dude never met me before and freaking gave me a big ass hug. Oh, man, but yeah, no.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I talked to him after. We talked. Good guy.
He always gives me a kiss on the cheek. That's what.
Going back to Hook. You see him on TV, then he's off of TV. Like, what's going on with this kid?
He likes strip clubs.
Like, you would think that being that his dad is who he is on AEW, that you'd see him on a regular basis. You just don't.
Well, he's useless, so that's probably why.
Granny Hulkster says, hello, guys. Haven't been on here in a while. Granny, hello. Glad you enjoyed your cruise that you had.
Right.
Glad to see you back. That wraps up this podcast, guys.
Hey, I know we veered off a little bit, but hey, it happens.
That's what makes a good podcast. When Monday Night Raw's not, nothing to talk about. Guys, don't forget that this is the last podcast for a week and a half. With the exception of, I do have an interview on Monday I'm going to be doing. Other than that, we're going to be off. I'm going to be in Florida again, hopefully to find our house, either that or fire another realtor.
Did you look in the Inverness area?
We did. There's just nothing that meets our criteria.
Oh, okay. La-di-da.
Unfortunately, me and Robbie was talking about this before he came on. I'm trying not to end up in Ocala, but unfortunately, it just keeps on looking like that's where we're going to be at because of the whole internet thing. And on top of that, the Denellen, Citrus Springs area, most of these houses have private septic tanks, and that's a pain in the ass. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
The houses we're looking at in Citrus Spring and Denellen, we will see what's going to happen.
Oh, you have a realtor that's actually going to take you where you say this time?
Yes. Great House says, I have missed you all. We've missed you too. She says, thank you. We had a great time. Good. Glad to hear that, Granny.
Wonder what that's like. Having a great time.
I don't know. Maybe if you left your house every once in a while, you'd find out, Bob.
Oh, I left my house earlier, went to Walmart, and it was not a great time. Trust me.
Well, you went to Ghetto Mart, and that's why
Oh, it was brutal, but
We call it nothing.
had to go. Had to go.
Look, anytime I'm feeling bad about my life, I go to Walmart.
Yeah,
Just sit and watch.
it'll do it. Brutal.
After
or
15
just try
minutes,
to.
after 15 minutes, I leave saying, Kevin, God damn it, you are a winner.
Makes you realize that the Walking Dead and aliens are real.
If you go in there and even try to talk to the associates, because they just ignore you and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
go by you. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were checking out, and they had, I think, 20 registers, and 2 of them were open. As far as the word, actual human beings.
Yep.
I was in there one day I was looking for something, and I feel like walking all over the place. And this girl walked by me with her vest on, and I said, "Excuse me," and she just kept on walking.
Probably couldn't speak English.
My wife hates if I need help because I don't allow them to walk by because I can be loud. You guys, look, you guys been on the podcast with you guys seen the nice guy. My wife will tell you, I'm not always a nice guy. And I have no problem being a dick if I have to be. I mean, I'm not a dick just because. But
Well, I wonder what that's like. I've never been an asshole in my life.
Yeah,
I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom such activity.
Yeah, right. Well, she didn't like the comment I made afterwards, but she kept on ignoring me, but probably wasn't thrilled with it. But have you ever been in an Ollie's?
Yeah.
I've been in there once. I'll never go in that store. It's like a bomb went off in this place.
The ones here in Minnesota were decent. But there's only certain things I buy at Aldi. Fruit is not one of them.
No, not Aldi's. Ollie's.
Oh yeah, I've been there too. It's nothing special.
It's like a bomb went off.
It's like a Big Lots. They just have trash stuff, but it's not kept.
Big Lots.
Okay, it's even worse than okay. Well,
I went in one time and because I was looking for, they had a coffee pot when our coffee pot went out, and I was looking and I finally found it, and it was on like the very top, and there was a kid that worked there, and they're kind of like the dregs of society of Walmart. So if you can even imagine that. And I asked the kid, I went, "Excuse me," and the kid just walked away. And I went, "All right, screw you." So I climbed up the shelves to get that because it was the only coffee pot left that I wanted. So I climbed up the shelves. And I thought if somebody comes and says something to me, I'm going to say, well, your employees didn't think it was like to be helpful. So I just took it upon myself to get it myself.
How is Publix? Because there's
all right. It's overpriced, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
They got great fried chicken.
In
the diesel
about their bakery and stuff, but there's better places that have better bakeries and stuff.
Well,
yes,
I like Hungry Howie's, but there's better pizza too, but still good Hungry Howie's.
But like the bakery, it's kind of went downhill. So like Costco's baked goods are better, Detweiler's, but you won't have a Detweiler's if you're up further north. But Publix is like it's a good store, but it is overpriced.
Got it. Guys, we'll be back on, besides that one interview that I have coming up, we will be back on the 30th of June. It's our next podcast.
Seems like a lifetime away.
Except for Monday, the 22nd, my interview with Daniel Jones.
Who?
Daniel Jones.
Okay. It's better than Daniel Garcia.
Even as much as Robbie talks shit about Daniel Garcia, I guess.
Bob talked more shit about him than I did.
Well, I just said he comes across, he's horrible on the mic. He comes across as a punk. He comes across as a white guy trying to be a black guy. I don't even get that concept.
Yeah.
And you also said he couldn't sell out a gymnasium.
Oh, well, I was wrong. You couldn't sell out a phone booth.
The only thing I do know is I'll never have Daniel Garcia on this podcast now. So
why? You don't like the guy? What did he ever do to you? You know what the reality is of that situation, though? Unless you're completely mentally insane, you won't lose a millisecond of sleep over not having some overbearing, obnoxious, pig-faced Daniel Garcia on your show.
You're right. I don't lose sleep over not having anybody on this show, to be honest.
Oh, really? If Ronda Rousey was coming on and she canceled, you'd be losing sleep.
I would not lose sleep.
I would, because I want to see it.
You do lose sleep.
I'd rather have Megan Bain on. Let me work on that.
Please work on that. 100%. Call your contacts.
If you get Megan Bain on the show, I want to be on it with her.
Speaking of, by the way, Robbie, I contacted your boy Ray Fury. He's not got back to me.
Luke?
Yeah, Luke Fury. I mean.
Okay.
Luke. Luke. I was going to say, who's Ray Fury? I know a Luke Fury. He's a good kid.
Yeah. Luke. Yeah.
Good attitude. Very respectful.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
He's the nephew of the legendary Leilani Kai.
Hold on. Let me make sure. There is a Ray.
Ray Fury?
Yeah.
Isn't he related to Tyson Fury?
Saturday, May 30th. I seen he hasn't seen it yet, though. So let him know that I sent my information to him. So, Hey, guys, please subscribe to the podcast. Again, we'll be back on the 30th to do the recap of Monday Night Raw. That's a Tuesday. No SmackDown, thank God, this week. Until then, guys, you guys enjoy a week and a half. I'll enjoy my trip in Florida. Hopefully, I'll come back with exciting news.
I'll send you a message next Tuesday. Is the show tonight?
Huh?
I'll send you a message next Tuesday and ask, is the show on tonight? Just to be obnoxious.
Tell him yes, and then when he goes to show up, you're not there. So.
Oh,
Right. Until
well, that's a
then,
hell of a rib.
you guys have a great week. See you guys soon.
See you later.
Right.